guys. Good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Market Check. I am Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. Today's show is brought to you by Because Bitcoin. I am joined by Max Tucker and Dr. Will's Outlook. I hope you guys have had a phenomenal week. I'll be honest, this week has really flown by. It's not quite Friday. It's still Thursday, but I feel like Monday was, just a few hours ago almost, right? I mean, we've had a lot of volatility this week. Well, maybe not as much as last week, but we have had some good movement in legacy markets. I think, you have the S&P and the NASDAQ probably still digesting the extent of these moves that we've seen this week on both the VIX and the dollar. And I think investors as well as traders alike are all kind of wondering, what exactly is going to happen at these inflection points. That was something that I kind of outlined yesterday. I think the market's painting a fairly clear picture, from that standpoint, in the sense that you have the VIX and the dollar at very key resistance levels. The VIX at August high, you have the dollar at a high time frame structural level. They can break above that. It's probably going to cause problems for markets. At the same time, you have the S&P sitting right at a very key level for daily market structure. Vice versa for Bitcoin. I mean, I view 25 to 26K on Bitcoin the same way that I kind of view this price level on the S&P, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, I think there is still a lot to be decided in this market, and it's probably at this point going to take October before we can really decide, with absolute certainty what the direction of the trend is going to be here into the end of the year. And I do think that we will. I don't think that we're going to go sideways into December. I don't think that's likely. I think either what's going to happen is that, one, because of this fear that we have kind of put into the market over the last 2 weeks, the resulting VIX crush and short rollover will, cause the indexes to rise and ultimately make new yearly highs. Or I think that, the yearly top is probably in and we likely continue to sell into the end of the year. So as a trader, it's very important for me to be able to figure out, which direction I think could be next. But as far as Bitcoin goes, I mean, that's a little bit more unpredictable right now. And I think that that's most notably because of crypto's OPEX that it has at midnight tonight. Most people are going to be saying that it's because of these Ethereum futures ETFs, I'm sure. And that does explain, admittedly, the Ethereum strength that we've seen versus Bitcoin, some of the altcoin strength that we've seen versus Bitcoin. But these futures ETFs, I think they are bigger catalysts. They are sell the news type of catalysts, right? In the sense that, the hype is going to push price up, but futures ETFs themselves are not necessarily bullish catalysts for Bitcoin and Ethereum, as history has shown us, as they are very liquid and dynamic hedging tools for a lot of these institutions that don't necessarily want to have crypto, or they don't necessarily want to have capital exposed to crypto. And that's true both of digital assets as well as on exchanges. But let's go ahead and dive in, guys. Kind of interesting price action today, in the sense that you have legacy markets more or less chopping around. The S&P hasn't been able to really make up too much ground, despite the VIX coming off of the weekly highs, the dollar coming fairly strongly off the weekly highs. But meanwhile, you do have Bitcoin, which looks very strong ahead of OPEX. And we mentioned earlier this week that max pain point for crypto OPEX this week is actually 26.5K. So I would have to imagine around midnight tonight, we're probably fairly close to that price, give or take, but we'll see. What are you guys thinking about this week, and how are you kind of digesting it as we move into October, which I want to preface by saying is the month with the highest realized levels of volatility of any month in the calendar year?
Ooh, you want me to touch on this first, or who wants to go on this one first?
You got it, Will.
All right. So I do agree it does have the highest volatility, but I will say this, even as bearish as I am right now, it tends to be volatility to the upside.
Wait, you're bearish right now, Will?
Yeah, I mean, look at oil and look at other things. I mean, there's a lot of going on, right? So, I will say tends to be a reversal in October. And from October, it can go back down into November, or from the end of October, typically, to back down in November. The volatility is going to be there. But keep in mind also, and I want to point this out, and this is exactly what happened last year, is that bullish sentiment did come in October, right? And it did prior year too. It came in October in 2022 even, or 2022, 2021. And 2021 didn't play out until basically Q1 of 2022. That's when the catastrophic events came into play, and we could really see, possibly sideways, maybe some up. Again, I think price is capped on Bitcoin. I'll just be real. Like I don't think price will exceed the highs. I do think there's a good possibility to range, right? So I think that's a good possibility. I think your bull case is range, your bear case is you're going to dip low, right? 24, 23, 22, anybody's guess at the end of the day. I think there's, and we talked about this morning in the GigaChat chat, right? And I'm going to bring this one up because I think it's good for the audience. When you look at miners specifically, right? Miners, are they going to capitulate now or are they going to capitulate later, right? That's really the question at the end of the day. Because when you look at the halving, you look at the cost to mine, you look at everything that they have going on, because I think this is a very important conversation, especially with crypto for one, and stock companies for two. So if you're on either side of that trade, it affects you. But when you look at their cost to mine and what all they have going on, and we don't have to name tickers, we already named tickers this morning to get chat. But I would say majority of these miners are underwater, right? After the halving, they're going to be in a position to where if Bitcoin's not trading at 40K plus, they're basically losing money on mining Bitcoin. So does capitulation come now while they're able to profit out their Bitcoin, and so they're able to make it past the halving, or does it happen later? Right. That's really the question at the end of the day, and that's why I know Wabi has brought this up, and you and me have talked about 2021 being that potential for next year, right? So I think Wabi's kind of right on the fact that this could be 2019 and 2020 could be next year, and we could see a capitulation event even at the end of next year, right? Going into 2025, or maybe mid-year, whatnot, or so on and so forth, or maybe even Q1. Maybe our 2022 plays out all over again, just Q1, just like 2022. When we start rolling over again, doesn't mean we're going to see the same type of downside we saw, because obviously there was a lot more money in the market then, but it doesn't mean that we could trend, at least bleed down for a long period of time.
Will, if you don't long this, I don't know what to tell you.
No way I'd long that. No, I look, if you were going to long, it would be when we talked about it in the chat this morning, and that would have been right before this breakout.
I know, right? I know.
Outside of that, you don't long this. Like, your long potential is gone now.
I mean, this is where you take profit or you start shorting, man. I mean, I know everyone's getting excited, but what have we seen the past few days? Every dramatic impulse up or down has been subsequently faded almost immediately. So I don't think we're about to break out here. I don't think we're going to get above that previous high. As a matter of fact, we might not even make it substantially above 27. You know, look about what happened yesterday, man. We pulled a complete BART, got no follow through. Now we're back above the BART. We're probably just going to BART again.
You know what I think this is,
time for no follow through, man. Like, there's been no follow through in this entire range.
There was a wick, right, that occurred, and we're filling the wick. That's what it's a rebalance of the imbalance.
That's this is just another illiquid squeeze, man. I mean, it started because if you look at what happened to ETH this morning, man, there was a lot of people speculating on ETH because there was rumors about an ETH futures ETF, you know, where you could, I mean, it's not spot, right? So it's just the same thing that we have with Bitcoin, where you can speculate on price without actually owning Bitcoin. Same exact thing with Ethereum. Same exact thing.
Well,
so there were people just, you know, they were walking price up. And I know, Will, you don't like OI. We're going to OI pill you eventually. But if you look at the OI for ETH,
I like OI. I just
look at it for Bitcoin. Look at it for Bitcoin, though. Look, every time we've gotten to
look at the RSI.
Every time we've gotten to 3.25 billion, it's a giga fade every single time.
For now.
We're not there yet, though, right? Like,
so I don't use. I do like that, Tucker. I don't use OI that same way. Yeah. But I don't think it doesn't work. You know, I just don't use it that way. But can you go to ETH and quickly look at what happened this morning? It's pretty clear what happened to me. You'll have to go to like maybe the 30-minute chart or something like that, or the 1 hour, and then pull up the OI. That's not OI. That's is that Fu Manchu?
No, that is absolutely. Who just took a screenshot?
No, that was me. I'm
I didn't
charting.
do
Sorry. That was me. I'm charting.
He
Hey,
said,
guys.
"Hold on."
So hey, Jack. So look what happened this morning on ETH, guys. Like I was watching this, and we
Yeah.
didn't have the same type of demand coming in on Bitcoin for perps. So this is predominantly an OI driven squeeze, and the same thing that we've been seeing this entire range where they walk it up and then it gets faded and then everyone gets bearish and then it gets faded to the bear side and it squeezes back up. It's just the same. This is the same thing we've seen. This is the inverse of what we saw yesterday, when we had the BART. So they're walking it back up. I'm not expecting follow through. I don't think that the ETH futures ETF holds any weight at all. I think it's insignificant. If we are going to squeeze and it's going to be a sustained rally, it's not going to be because of anything other than DXY probably pulling back, or equities putting in a substantial bounce. So I don't know. I don't think it seems super healthy so far. It just seems like we're still stuck in the range. And yeah, I mean, we talked about this yesterday. Like, okay, so Tucker, actually look at the previous BART to the left right there on the 18th. We could just be doing that same thing again right there where we BARTed the first time.
Wait, up here?
Yeah, we could literally just be doing
yeah.
that all over again. So
Yeah,
I
a
don't know.
little bit
It's
of
just
that,
not
actually.
super healthy in my opinion here.
Yeah. A little bit of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like I don't think this is where you FOMO. I don't think you FOMO up here. I don't trust this range, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a range where you just kind of watch. You're more of a spectator, I think, in these ranges for Bitcoin. You could definitely short these down. I think if you catch them at the right ranges. Like Tommy talked about this morning, and I agree on it. 28K, 27K, somewhere's in there. That's a good spot to be looking for potential reversal move on this overall move. I will say this too, because I want to be fair to bulls and bears, and I know bulls will be like, they're gonna freak out. So I'll throw you a bone. We've held the range, 100%. We've held the range, right? I don't want to ignore that, but we've also rejected the range too, multiple times at the highs. One of these sides blows out in a big way, right? That's kind of the thing. One of these sides blows out in a big way. Do we know what that is? Nope, not at the moment. But I can tell you, if you look at oil, you won't think it's the upside. I'll tell you that. If you look at you look at returns on bonds, you won't think it's upside. You look at dollar, you won't think it's upside. VIX maybe topped, right? Maybe topped, but I think we're in a slow cool down phase right now in oil. I think oil's pulling back. I think dollar's pulling back a little bit. We're seeing some cool down. That's what's allowing some relief of pressure here, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if you go again, I've talked about this range many times. I'll talk about it again. You flip 28.5, get 31. Congratulations. But how much further do you go than that?
Yep. I don't think you get above my note box. Not gonna happen. I don't know. We'll see. literally every time. Nope. I don't know. I want to see what happens when we get OI back up here. Because obviously in price we could be at 27.2, but
Nope.
nope. But yeah, I don't know.
I do.
Are you guys seeing Evan's comments, man?
Yes, he thinks we're all sidelined, man.
Bro, I've said a million
Evan
times.
thinks this is the imminent pump to 100K.
Evan, go look at my Twitter, bro. I am wrecked on my freaking buys. Okay,
I am wrecked.
I am wrecked because
It's
I bought
ogre.
and I bought and I bought and I'm still buying. And I post this stuff for everybody to see because I try to be as transparent as possible. So
ETH Bitcoin printed 9 red monthly Heiken candles. I do like the hike.
That's an interesting observation.
I love the Heikens actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of red. The problem is
possible this is the bottom for ETH BTC. I tweeted it at 0.06 the other day. I said it's either here or it's literally 50% lower. So
I bought alts, Max, with the full understanding that I could lose 75% of my position. I just don't think other people are willing to
how do you
understand
have
that
the
that's their
cojones
potential.
to do that, man? How do you have the stomach for that?
I'm just telling you, like I know this market very well. I've been in here for a long time. I've been wrecked many a times on the low end range, but it always makes up at the top end range. And a lot of these people in this market, they don't understand that, right? They'll see that 75% drawdown and they'll sell it, and then it'll move back up, and then they'll buy it again, and then it'll move back down. They'll sell it again because they don't know how to play the range. They don't know how to get in and out of the markets, and it's really crazy to me that a lot of people can't really, I guess, necessarily understand that there is. I come in here daily and I say there is a lot of room for downside, a lot, especially with altcoins. But if you've got long-term positions, it shouldn't matter to you. If you're trading, it should 100% matter to you. And people just don't understand the difference between the two.
Well, wait. This would only be bottomed if Bitcoin goes up from here, right? Like ETH is not going to be stronger than Bitcoin to the downside.
I think ETH comes down and fills that entire drop that it already did. I don't mean like the right there. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
I don't.
But Max,
Okay.
why would this hold right here?
All right, I'm gonna tell you. Take off Haikanashi.
I like
Monthly order block. Monthly order block right there, Tucker.
Yeah,
Guys, have you read my premium
there you go.
report?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, Jackus. I know what you're saying.
That
But
might be the answer to why.
if Bitcoin comes down to 23K, 24K, even 25K at this point, this should bleed, right? Like, why would this not
in a big
bleed?
way?
Yeah,
in a big way. Yeah.
Why would ETH overperform to the downside?
Hang on. Why did ETH not make a new low when FTX went under, but Bitcoin did? Sometimes shit just happens.
Yeah.
But like my take on when ETH BTC really goes up is when ETH USD starts breaking that big higher time frame ascending triangle upwards. I think when that happens, that's really when. But I think the accumulation is here. Like it can stay here for a while, and in the meantime, both ETH USD and BTC USD can like BTC can reclaim 30K, ETH USD can reclaim that 1800 level, and then ETH BTC stays at these levels in the meantime, and then it starts breaking higher, and ETH BTC starts breaking higher with it. By the way, BTC looks like right now it's just pressuring the downward trend line and could potentially break it, but once again, not getting excited until it reclaims 28K.
Are you very distrusting of these little squeezes, Jackus?
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, they just don't have any follow through, man. They just squeeze or dump, and then it's like nothing. It's a shame.
Then it remind you of something? Maybe 2022. I think a lot of people just don't remember how that worked out.
That was brutal, man. Some of those squeezes were crazy.
Dropping.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're in a very tight range here, but I just think that a lot of people are getting really, really excited when price walks up like this, just like they were yesterday morning, and then it turned around. It's like, yeah, I guess we could keep going higher, but I don't know. I'm distrusting of it.
Interesting though is that if you drag the downtrend line from the July, from the very top of this year, then it's just pressuring it right now, this is the fourth touch, and on the third it did not make a lower low, so that's a pretty interesting. But so like bears trying to defend it here might get squeezed, but I still think
that BNB has that same trend line, give or take.
Yeah, it does.
BNB was pushing up against it this morning too.
Yeah,
they got to make it a wick, otherwise it's.
Yeah, right, I want to get an opinion on if you guys think price action looks similar. I want to, Tucker, if you could look at the like a 4 hour of the S&P.
Yes.
I'll tell you this.
Ooh, my box, my red box.
A
zoom out a
bagger.
little bit.
I should have made it a green box. What?
You zoom out a
Lovely
little bit.
bounce. Lovely bounce.
Yeah.
I just want you to just that structure. I want you to ingrain it into your head what that looks like.
An M.
The potential for a
formation.
topping pattern. Let me rephrase the potential for a topping pattern.
Lower high M formation.
Now, can you go to Bitcoin, Tucker?
On what?
I think you know. Can you go to March 2020?
Yeah.
Go ahead and invert that, Tucker. I want you to invert that pattern when you get a chance.
It also looks like 2008, bro. But
Tell me that topping pattern doesn't look a little bit similar.
Yeah, just this, right? Like this run up into that.
Look, here's the thing. Look. I want to give. Hold on. Before we go any further. No. Hold on. Hold on. No. But I think you're cooking with fire, right? But here's the thing. I think let's give bulls a fair chance here. Go back to that real quick.
Oh, they'll get a fair chance. They'll get a fair chance.
I'm going to give you. I want to add to your context here. I want to add to your context because I know where you're going with this. You're cooking. But I think we go back, grab one more bars pattern from that same area, Tucker. When you're done, when you're done, max bear posting. All right. So remove the final drop there.
Why?
Look. No. I'm gonna give you context. I'll give you context. Right there. Yep. Because that's the black swan. Let's say we're not predicting a black swan, right? Just put that in context right there. So go ahead and set that up. Where do we go?
I mean, you probably bounce a little bit and then
you got to stretch it out a little bit further. I don't think we put in the complexity yet.
The bull case. That's what I'm saying, right? That's max bull, potential support.
Let me show you what I'm cooking.
So on and so forth.
Let me show you what I'm cooking.
Is that not fair?
Real quick.
Tommy's got it cooked up already. It's already prepared.
But minus the black swan, is that not a fair approach?
I think it's a fair approach. I just think that, black swans are kind of like self-reinforcing anyway. Like they are. I think that would have occurred regardless of COVID, quite frankly, because we already had signs in the reverse repo market that there were huge issues with liquidity in 2019. COVID was just a convenient way for them to kind of like paper over the market crash. I think that would have ensued regardless. It probably wouldn't have been that extreme, but
it was priced in. It was priced in.
I'm not saying it was priced in. I'm just saying the market was showing a lot of weakness well before the swan. It was just something came in and was the powder keg, right? But I mean, I see the way that the price action looks similar. I guess we can see how it kind of plays, but I'm just kind of intrigued by this topping pattern here, right? Zoom back. Way back in time. I think the crossovers from a momentum standpoint look fairly similar as well.
No, I do agree, Tommy. Like it is definitely a distribution. The question for me is, is it over kind of distribution or is it just a local top and we get, a sustained pullback for a bit? I'm not sure what, at this point, what the real catalyst would be for something like that to happen. In crypto, I mean, the obvious one is just Binance going under, right?
Yeah.
But we've been speculating on that. Everyone's been speculating on that for, the majority of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Translating over to equities, I'm not even sure what would take it there.
I think catalysts are like the word catalyst is kind of a meme, right? Because price will move and then we will assign narratives that, like I said, they're kind of self-reinforcing in nature as we get direction. So I'm not saying that this is my expectation, But I will say I'm watching for the pattern to play out. I can see the topping pattern from before. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to share that price action. And I will say real quick, I'll let you cook. Well, I think it reflects like where I believe that we are in the market cycle, which is probably closer to, or probably that we need maybe one more flush, before we can maybe begin a new cycle potentially, or that this is a complacency shoulder on a higher time frame. I don't know. I can't really get myself into a bullish mindset for Q4. Maybe that's a mistake. It's not like I don't have any exposure to the long side, but I just don't really see any material strength in the market right now.
That's fair.
Let me explain to you guys something, okay? All right.
All right, Will, do it.
We deserve and we need are not a thing. The market does what it does. All right.
True.
We deserve zero.
At the end of the day, all right. At the end of the day, the trend is down. It's lower highs. We're moving to the downside, lower lows. I would argue controlled pricing in a channel potentially, but definitely higher, lower highs, lower lows. So you follow the trend, never fight the trend. I think one of the biggest takeaways is like I also don't ever potentially bet on black swans necessarily, right? I think there's good scenarios that it could happen. There's bad scenarios that where it couldn't happen, so on and so forth. So I look at the market for what it is when it comes to price, and so I always try to eliminate black swans, but always have expectations that they could happen, right?
That's kind of how I'm approaching it too. Well, I'm not going to go in with the expectation that we're going to get a black swan, but I do believe markets from a price action standpoint are demonstrating high time frame reversals. And, if momentum wants to carry it that far, it will carry it that far. But, positioning at the beginning of trend reversals is often, I don't love to try to knife catch unless I have, knife catching is also a meme, right? But like, I don't like to try to, knife catch a trend reversal because you typically have plenty of time to get on board. It's usually a conviction thing. But like if you do catch the Pico turning point of a trending move and you catch the reversal, then you're going to make that's obviously where the biggest gains are going to be.
Let me show you all the knife catch right here, man.
Look at this propaganda.
Well, I'm pretty sure, by the way, I think I can't remember. I was messaging him. I think Jackus may have sent me this one. He sent me a few of them. We were talking about like basically market psychology in the sense of like things bubble and then they capitulate and what that looks like. Now, there's not a direct correlation between TLT and Meta. You could argue there is one because Meta might be interest rate sensitive, but we don't need to go on to that whole tangent. They're really not correlated markets. Okay, not in the traditional sense. It was a bubble into a capitulation. This is peak fear. You have people memeing TLT, memeing 20, 30-year rates, It's a total meme at this point. This is capitulation, but the thing about capitulation is it could go down another 20% and it's still just capitulation. You got to be careful. But I'm just saying this is capitulation. So Tommy said knife catch, and I had this chart pulled up from earlier. I'm just saying this is the territory we're in. We're in that deep fucking value area down here.
I like that.
Well, but Max, we talked about these prices. We talked about it before it ever even attempted to get to these ranges. We talked about TLT coming out here. 100% talked about that. And I will say too, look, Facebook just came out with new glasses that can read signs that are not of your language and translate them to you. Okay,
dude, Google already did that. I'm pretty sure. Didn't they do that a few years ago?
No, they haven't. They haven't come out with what they've done is crazy, and it's $300 for these glasses. And if you watch the advertisement, I saw on there the other day across the top, it said, if you go to BB Discord, you can get 1 month free. So I don't know if you guys saw that. But that was there.
Put that up. That was a good setup. Well, that was a good setup.
Right.
That was a good setup. And in the meantime, Guys, we got 16 likes on this video. We got over 30 people watching. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you're enjoying the content, please, just a quick reminder to hit that thumbs up button. It really does wonders for the channel, really helps us grow. And thank you guys for the continued support day in and day out. We absolutely love doing this show and hanging out with you guys. But yeah, if you could really just real quick, just hit that thumbs up button for us. We're at 18 likes right now. It's a little weak to get. It's a little bit weak today, guys. I think we can do better than that. Our TP is always 30 likes. Let's see if we can run the range high at 30 likes while we are live here on the air. Just cracked 20, guys. Thanks so much for being here as always. But yeah, anyways, this is capitulation, man, in bonds. I mean, it could go lower, but I'm just saying, like, some of the stuff I'm seeing out there right now, it's nonsensical, man. People are acting like the Fed is about to start a brand new tightening cycle. You know, like people are like, rates are going higher, TLT's going lower. I'm like, man, that's okay. You know, that all makes sense, but we're at the very tail end of the tightening cycle.
My
But
mailman.
Max, that's exactly when, if you have experience, you are able to finally spot this and don't play the emotional game everyone else is playing, right? So we can see it. Well, you are always sort of biased, you know. No matter what we say, the ads still affects us. You know, if we say like we don't care about ads, they still do. And the emotion that everyone says, like there's gonna be new tightening cycle, as you say, it can slightly affect us. Like even us will probably doubt ourselves, even with TLT. But the reality is that we are truly in the mania phase on the opposite side.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're moving into the depression. But my mailman did tell me yesterday that oil is going to $150 a barrel, and that's to stay cash.
Dude, don't discount the mailman. All right, you don't know where he comes from.
It's the barber. The barber's the tell, Will.
I used to be a mailman, Will.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Were you looking at charts when you were a mailman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Will.
So I won't pay.
Yeah, Will.
Don't fade the mailman. Yeah.
Respect the mailman. Maybe mailmen are like low key just alpha generators, and barbers are the big fades.
Yeah.
You
know? No, to be honest, I suppose 99.99% of mailmans probably aren't. Not that I wanna touch their feelings or anything, but like I want to be a mailman just so that I can have time to, in my very, very early age, that I can have time to pursue my career on charts.
You made it, Jackus. You did it. You
Yeah.
delivered the mail and you got where you were supposed to be.
You made it. You made it out of the government hood. Now you're moving on.
By the way, jumping back into the charts, I just still love the BTC Euro chart. I keep mentioning it, and no one's paying attention. But like, if you jump in on the weekly,
pull it up, Jackus. Do you have it up?
Okay. One sec, I'll share the screen. One sec. Here it is. Just shared it.
Beat you, Tucker.
Hmm?
Oh, I thought you were gonna try to get him on the screen too.
No, I was pulling up BCH because they're talking about it in the chat.
Yeah,
I always try to be quicker than you, Tucker. Got to keep me on my toes.
And just this range is just so super clean, but no one's paying attention to these alternative charts. But I still think that if you combine them, then it's you get the true representation of the value, and I think this is getting seriously close to something breaking higher. There's just lots of strengths, and I still am prepared. I'm still prepared for the scenario which I was talking about, that we drop to the daily demand. But like, I'm also prepared, and I think what Tommy was saying, I think it's okay to be bearish here still. Like, I see the reasoning, and that's important. But it is also important to have an invalidation and be ready to change quickly, because Otherwise, you're gonna end up being here waiting for that 2K, and then when it changes, you're still not gonna believe it. And I've been through these few quite too many
So
times.
by Jackus. So I went through that same exact scenario. Believe me, that
Yeah,
low wrecked a lot of people that were
yeah,
looking for lower prices.
yeah.
I was one of them.
No
Yeah,
shame.
here's the difference. And yes, the essence of what you're saying, both of you guys, Jackus and Will, I understand. But the difference between there and where we're at here is that you're talking about a like 60% capitulation in Bitcoin's price. Well, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is still very significantly off of its high of the year, or I'm sorry, low of the year. Bitcoin is up like 100% on the year, and we drop back. And yes, we are at support, but the context of those two moves is severely different. I
I
mean,
mean,
this is
we're only
Absolutely, that's a good point, and I will address that because here we went straight up with lots of inefficiencies that had to be filled, and they were. So the context here was way different than it is right here. Uh, I would like each cycle is on its own, as I keep on saying, and this one is, let's just compare it like, let's put on a simple fib.
that wick could be a partial fill too. There, Max.
And we can see that we are basically trading around the 20, around 20% right now, or 21, 22, something like that, 22% of the entire move up. If we compare that to the 2018 cycle, look how high we went there. We went to the 60% retracement from all-time high. So if we want to take it into full context, it's around as if we were trading here, this entire time. This move up would never happen, and we would be doing this here, or like around here, right? So that's the important context. And
See,
I mean,
I am kind of torn on where I think we are with the Bitcoin cycle. I think that it could very well be like 2015, 2016, 2017, and the depths of that bear market where we just kind of perpetually ground up higher. But I also think it could just be a more elongated version of 2019. Like it doesn't, I don't, I've always been kind of skeptical myself that when I just zoom out on these charts on like on the Will's Outlook timelines, like these altcoins, these AVAXs, these Solanas, these Ethereums, they look like they need significantly more time to go sideways. Which is why I wanted to believe a few months ago in the shorter cycle theory, but I think I'm increasingly in the camp that it's probably going to take a longer amount of time to unwind.
so look at this, guys. These are the 3 cycles, right? The big ones. And right now we are trading below the 0.236 retracement. Here in 2016, after we broken the bottom accumulation, and we can say like this was the bottom accumulation. Here it was right here, and here the bottom accumulation was this one, right? So after we've broke this one in 2015-16, we were trading around and then slightly above. Here we are still trading below, and this is important to take into the context. That's why I say, and it's always good and important to create a context. I think it's the most important, and that's why I'm trying to say, hey, look at where we are context-wise and how long we are spending down here. Compare that with here. Let's say this was the beginning of the accumulation, June 2022. This is 470 days down here. And if we compare that to, and we can actually start somewhere like here, in my opinion, on December 14. So if you look, look at that. We are around right here, back to 2015-16 bottom. And back then we were, so basically we are in a deeper, we are in the deepest discount cycle-wise we've ever been right now, I would say. Not to mention that in all of these conditions, it's pretty interesting that the market bottom on the weekly RSI, always like touched and bottom, touched and bottom. And here, for the first time, it made that RSI divergence on the weekly. So, but I suppose what we are debating here is not whether we've bottomed that much or not. I suppose none of us are really expecting something crazy like 10Ks. But so the debate is probably like,
Well, some people are, but go ahead. Not in this group though. Not in this
Yeah,
group.
no, I don't think anyone on here thinks 10K.
There's
is
some people out
happening.
here in spaces telling me 8K.
I mean, I'm warming up to the idea. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I'm just going to flat out come out and say it. Like, I am very warmed up to the possibility that we see 10K Bitcoin before the end of the year. I know that's like a very hot take, but
this year,
elaborate, please.
This year,
more context, please. More context.
I feel like I gave the context with the legacy sell that I kind of expect to occur.
He's throwing in the black swan and everything.
Black swans are a meme, Will.
Oh,
Some we can predict, some we can't. Like, I wouldn't call 2008 a black swan. Like, you could see that coming from a mile away from a positioning standpoint.
In hindsight, you could. Nobody saw it.
I'm gonna steal it for 10. I'll give it right back, I promise. But I'm gonna steal it real quick. Okay.
No, go for it.
Your 2019 your 2019 chart made me think of something. I agree that with the fibs are convincing. I'll say that the 236 is convincing actually a little bit. But
thanks.
Yeah, no, actually that was insightful. But as a bear, I worry that we could be right here. I worry that we could be right here, just somewhat based on what Jackus was showing.
Distance out from the halving, that would make sense as well, Tucker.
And that would be the fractal. It would be that, and then fill the wick. I mean, can you imagine?
I feel this has like way more logic than anything. I just think that if we break 30K, then there is really no stopping us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Same here.
I'd agree with that.
Well, yeah, then you need right. That was COVID, obviously. So then you'd need something to break that. But
I think if this drops happens, it really like would have to happen now.
Yeah.
If you move up one more time like that and get above 30, I'm a jag. I think you break through that. That doesn't become resistance anymore.
I mean, it would have to line up with like a legacy event, right? It would have to line up with like a vol blowout, and like, we get up here. This is December of this year, and then like recession, yields, fucking Japan implodes, like all blows out.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens.
We already have those.
There would need to be an event.
Remember the Mexican aliens?
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when they came out later on and showed that they were pieces of cake? And they weren't even
for real? Did they debunk that?
Yeah, they debunked it was cake.
No, it was real.
No, I'm telling you, look, they chopped it up. They showed the photos and everything, bro.
No.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up.
True.
Watch.
I don't think that's true.
Hang on, I want to see.
I saw it, bro.
How far out from the halving?
It's just so hard to believe nowadays anything anyway, because like if you can do a deep fake call with Christine Lagarde and she believes you're Jay Powell, you know about this, guys, right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So like believe anything you read on the internet nowadays, right?
I'm about to post that. Look in our chat. Look in our chat. Look. Click this link.
129. Okay, there. Okay.
Will, that's clearly fake, man.
I know. I'm just stating. Like that was circulating after the alien thing.
I mean,
People are
it's
just naming
hilarious
them.
because it actually looks more like cake than it does aliens.
Doesn't it? It
apparently.
does.
Let's eat some aliens.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Mac's gonna be buying me that alien steak.
Bro, the fact that they tried to come out and act like these things were like real and preserved on dirt, like, come on, in a box.
By the way, is there an alien coin?
They're probably. I bet someone launched it on chain. I never heard about it though. But
There is a
people did it.
UFO chain. There's a UFO
U-
chain.
UFO.
I've got it, guys.
That could be a good one for next cycle.
Don't even worry about it.
Must have a light speed, right?
I figured it out, guys. I figured it out.
I think they're like forcing themselves through the floor. If you pull up UFO, it's just in a massive downtrend that's never going to end.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I remember UFO token.
Yep. You know, Tommy. You know.
Unfortunately, I do.
Biggest Ponzi ever.
Guys are just trying to find some fractal that would fit the drop to 20k.
Yes, yeah. He's trying to fit something in there.
No. Look. So
Honestly, like, I'm entertaining that move down to 19k is the wick partial fill of the run up of the first run.
we're in here somewhere.
And that
We're
jack
in
is
here
on
somewhere.
point that you come back to the high, you don't feel that wick.
We're in here somewhere.
And-
You just
and
gotta
you roll
figure
off
out
of
where
it.
it is. Okay, so here's the.
But
we're
I think Tucker might have a point here. Like that there can still be, and we should be always. It doesn't have to happen. You know, if you look back to 2015-16, there were so many inefficiencies below as well, and they never came back. And I still remember fucking ICT calling, you know, for like I don't know what
Yeah.
is it now, 6 years, and he's still calling for those inefficiencies and equalos
Yep.
to get filled. Sometimes it never does.
6 years.
Although it's important to
careful with the ICT guys, Jackus. They'll come at
I
you pretty hard.
Yeah, they will.
But do you think that a lot of them know that he didn't actually invent the strategies that he's teaching, or do they think he invented that? I don't mean to dig things up, but I'm just saying.
I think most guys are just cultists, you know, in crypto, in politics, in anything. So yeah, you know, it doesn't mean like I'm not saying many of the stuff ICT teaches isn't working or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying all of us will be wrong, and it's just a game of probabilities, and not always. Like in charts, there isn't something that must happen. We sometimes talk that way because, like, you know, it sounds better. People care more if you say that, like, we are going to 100.
This has to happen, or
yeah.
you know, these things must happen.
Yeah. Because if you just talk like, you know, this has about 40% probability, and you know, it's not that like nobody will care. So that's the problem.
That's always been my thesis since I've been here at BB. I'm like, it's a game of probabilities. It's never a definite in either direction. You follow the higher percentage trade. That's how you end up being a successful trader. It's not about being right or wrong or any of that stuff. It's just always play the higher percentage likeliness.
Exactly.
And if you let bias kick in, now you could be playing the lower percentage likeliness. Because now you're playing directionally towards what you want versus what you see.
By the way, Tucker just found it. Look at it.
Yeah. Tucker, you did it.
I did it, guys.
Look at that beauty.
This is it right here.
So, I don't want us that low, that close to the halving, Tucker. That would not be okay, man. For miners, that'd be scary. We need to be above.
Miners would be destroyed, 30K. Bro.
Well, then you go up only.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, look, I'm gonna throw the audience a bone. I won't give them the rest though. All right. If Bitcoin goes down there, Hut 8's probably going out of business. There are other tickers we talked about in the good chat, but I'll throw it out there for the audience.
Hang on, I gotta read Evan's comments real quick.
I suppose. Well, it depends how long we stay down.
That's true too. Yep.
Because
if we capitulate for 6 months or more, I think they're out of business.
Yeah. So like the time aspect in markets is sometimes even more important than the levels themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people got to understand too, is like, if we move down to those levels, like you're gonna have a heavy bid. Like we're not saying like, hey, we're gonna go down there and just stay down there forever, guys. Like you're gonna have a heavy bid. You'll probably stay down there for a couple weeks and then you'll roll out of that area. This is just one big massive accumulation range that's basically occurring here
Yeah.
with lows and highs. He put the alien in, bro. At the top, put do the one with the cut, Max, where they're cutting it like cake, and then let him cook across the top of it.
Oh, I can't make that quick. That'll have to be something we work on.
Yeah, what we're gonna we'll make it a sticker to get chat.
man.
Bro, it's face. What what is that? That is
It's
not an alien.
ET. You should put the alien picture on the cake chart now. KQSDT.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, man.
There it is. It's done.
Tucker's
Hey.
like, how deep can I drive this without making it look obscene? Tucker,
No, I had to fit it. I had to fit it, and I fit it with time as well. Will I fit
Tucker,
it with
what
time.
if we don't dip and we literally go to
Oh,
50K from right here, man?
Exactly.
Well, then that's never mind. That's not that fractal.
Yeah,
But
go ahead and flip that upside
It's a-
down. It is that fractal.
If we go to
Flip it upside
50K, then I mean you'll have plenty of time to get on board, realistically
facts.
speaking.
It depends
true.
how we get to 50K once again.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
I
Do
just
we
don't think markets are in a position to melt up.
What if it slow bleeds up there? And
If
you just
it's,
slowly
I mean,
watch it.
if it's slow grinds, that's one thing, and I can pivot and trade accordingly. I can play breakout trades. There is a way to do that without gambling. But
What if right now what's going on is we're slow grinding up and then we just rip?
well, then maybe that is the case, and I have levels that I know if we flip from a market structure standpoint, we're not going to see a retest like it's going to go.
What do you guys think? Tucker, can you put in the BTC Euro chart? I still think these are very important on the weekly.
I have to run, guys, but
Just Binance.
have fun.
See
Sure,
you,
you
Will.
guys got it.
See ya, Will.
See you, Will.
And then, there is that clean 1 level line at the range lows. And my question is, if we do break lower here, how does that like unfold with this chart? Or does Euro just stay so strong that it doesn't break below? You can extend the extend the line from 2021 from the beginning. It's a clean range.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
So if we do break lower here, not just wick, but break lower, that doesn't fit in my opinion. Because if we accept lower, aren't we going way lower? And if that's the case, isn't there like sequence with the miners and so on?
Max, I mean,
Isn't this the breakout and retest already?
I think not personally, but in hindsight, if we look back in a year, I can see that being the case.
It's possible, man. It's definitely possible. Like here's my big hang up. And this might end up coming back to bite me in the butt. You're looking at the Binance chart. Go look at the Bybit chart. That Bybit wick is keeping me up late at night. And I know, Jack, as we talked about, like over fixating on obvious signals that should get hit, like ICT, wants, and he's very, like, he's good, and I use a lot of those strategies, but it's like you can't over fixate on perfection because charts are never perfect, things can be more probabilistic and play out or not play out, but to say it has to is dangerous, but I think it's more probable than not that this wick does come back to get tagged. That's all.
I mean that's a fair point, and I agree with it.
You agree with it?
Yeah, I mean there is a good probability that can happen.
Do you think it's more probable? You think it's more than 50% likelihood that we fill in that wick? No, you think it's less?
I think it's less.
And see, that's where we slightly differ. Is I actually think it's slightly more than 50%. If just going back and I look at every major liquidation cascade that's had a wick like that, I've seen more than 50% of them come back to get filled before we move significantly higher.
But they've already filled it, half a percent, 50%.
Yeah, we have. But
yeah, well, I mean, look at the recent liquidations in 2022. Like, let's spend literally 2 minutes looking at this. Let's start with let's start with actually the bull market when we dropped from 64 to 28, Tucker. That big drop.
Yeah, what, these?
I'm sorry. Actually, let me
all these.
That's I was gonna say lower. Yeah, right there, that wick. That's a perfect one. Major liquidation. We range, we chop, we come back, we filled in that wick.
Boom, boom.
Same thing when we dropped from 69K, Tucker.
Boom.
If you look at the first liquidation after 69K, down,
this
down,
one.
right there. Yeah, look at that. We range, we chop, we come back, we fill in the wick. May and June of 2022, they've all in recent years we have come back to fill them. So it doesn't have to, and the difference here is that some of those wicks that we were talking about, a lot of those happened on multiple exchanges, where this Bybit wick has only happened on Bybit, so there's not multiple exchange confluence.
I think it happened on multiple perp exchanges. It just didn't happen on the spot pairs. But I think it happened on Binance as well. And maybe
did this wick happen on Binance? I didn't see it on Binance. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
I don't think so. Those are the ones that are filled, and those are the ones that aren't. So, no, Binance. No, Binance didn't do it.
I think Binance had no, but you need to put in the perp chart. I'm talking about perp charts. Okay. So perp charts all had those liquidations.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, I didn't see it. I was looking at the wrong charts then. So yeah, I mean that it goes down to like 24.2.
But I mean I totally agree with that logic, and I'm saying it's possible, but I'm giving it less probability of filling this time around.
Let me ask you this then specifically. So what you just said, why is this time different? You said this time around. Why is this time different than the previous ones?
Because put on my chart, Max.
Do you want me to keep the alien up or no?
No, I don't care.
I gotta keep him up. Why is it not loading? I clicked on the chart.
Is he our
mask? Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so on the index chart, we've swept all these lows, and we've taken this spot basically big low. And in my opinion, this is very important from few aspects, and that's people that wanted to buy below this wick low. They did not get it. Some people wanted to buy the liquidations below here, and they were not presented this opportunity. And many shorts wanted to take profit down here, and they were not presented this opportunity. Many wanted to buy lower, they were not also. And in my opinion, this sweep and this strong buyback, this strong weekly hammer candle, and look at this one, it's just doing another one. There's just so much demand on these candles. It swept the past 4 weekly lows. And in this case, in my opinion, this was enough. It could be enough. I'm not saying it is. That's why I say it's still possible that we go down there. I'm just saying I'm giving it lower probability,
And I agree with that, by the way. I think that right there looks extremely bullish.
Yeah.
But the perps charts don't look bullish to me. The perps charts look bearish to me.
I mean,
that looks bearish to me. That looks like we're just ranging and chopping before we're going to come back and fill in the wick. I mean, we don't have to, but it's just that wick just changes so much for me.
So here is another perp chart on OKX. As I was saying, it happened on the. So like I think this is even more bullish, to be honest, than the spot charts, because it SFP'd this low and then retested once again, and now we're going up. So that to me is even more bullish. But I'm simply debating the possibility of filling the perp wick. But I wouldn't put too much. I don't know, too much weight into this. For me, it's still like the overall context that we've been discussing over past many weeks and so on. So sorry, I think as Tommy was saying, it's important to have invalidations, and I think it's still okay to think we go lower here. But if we don't, just what I was saying, be ready to flip quickly, because once we like what can happen is some people will be looking, if we flip, for example, this high or this high, and then look to buy back. And what can happen is on the bullish case is that we actually go above 30K, then we do just a maybe small blip and
We lost you. Hey, Jackus, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
I apologize. Yeah, it's soon gonna be fixed. I think this is also what happened right here in 2020, where many people wanted, to buy back here, and then what happened? We just retested this high, and then I'm not even sure we did it on all exchanges. Then look, so many people wanted to rebuy here, right? And they were not presented the opportunity. I would have to put in the
Tommy, you had that fractal, by the way. Do you remember drawing that, Tommy?
One.
That one right there to the right, September, October of 2020. Right there.
I did.
You had that.
Yeah, I don't think it's really comparable necessarily, just because I don't see where the liquidity comes from.
I think this is really interesting now.
Yeah. Starting to squeeze a little bit.
Do we? What would be interesting? I would still love this the most. We have a H4 breakout, maybe even daily, and it closes like here, and then the next H4 candle is just the same as this one, and then we go down here to the daily demand, and it goes like this. So breakout higher, people FOMO, then break lower, we're going to zero, and then like this. But like just playing around.
I think it's possible. I like that daily demand, even if we can't agree on the Bybit perps wick, or just even, just the perps wick. That daily level's pretty clean.
Yeah,
it would make sense to come back there. Not that you have to, but that would be a nice level.
Exactly. Like I kept saying, this level just makes so much sense. But once again, we can just front run it. And what I've learned is that you need to be ready to act quickly. Just if we don't do it.
Always have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Always have to have a backup plan.
I still like, just print me that breakout above this downtrend, and then bounce from this downtrend, close above here, and then.
But plan B is reinforcing plan A. There is no plan B. There's only one plan.
BNB. Yeah, once again, until BNB breaks above 220, it's just it's hard for me to fully confirm it. But like above 30K, BTC is just like fuck you, bears.
Look at go to BNB and draw that same trend line, Jackus.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's trying, it's definitely trying, but it's a little sticky, it's working on it.
Yep.
It's trying. We'll see.
And by the way, we need to count in the DeFi perp on Binance, and it's just lovely. It legit went below the all-time lows, and then broken above the falling wedge. I wasn't really paying attention when it broke here because that could have been fake, but it bounced and broken above again, just showing the buyback here. I am liking this one. Like, this is showing some DeFi strengths, and in my opinion, the breakout of this wedge needs to, like, it has to lead to, at minimum, in my opinion, this area makes sense, and then if we break above, then this is a strong liquidity level above here.
Yeah, that was a level I've noticed we've been consistently capped by since we had that big drop last year in 2022. Like, not just capped, but I mean, completely unable to make any ground into that inefficiency that we had above us from like the drop in the spring 2022.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason for that. I just have always thought it was interesting how, we literally have not been able to trek through that inefficiency at all. I think it's a sign that maybe like the daisy chain of borrowers got destroyed, but that's just speculation.
And I'm still saying, the almighty triangle here is that I'm still worried if we would be breaking closer because this simply needs to hold. I was saying that to Max about here, and I was saying like this needs to hold, and I was saying we can go and sweep here. That's okay, but we need to buy back. We did it, so like they always make it the most scary possible. And then your ETH BTC thesis, I think above here, above 1850 level, that's where ETH BTC, and especially on the breakout here, is when ETH BTC starts flying, and alts in general. And until then, ETH USD can go up, but so can BTC USD, and ETH BTC can just stay sideways or so.
I will say ETH and ETH BTC are holding exactly where they need to. Exactly.
Guys, it might be time. It might be time.
What were you saying? What were you saying, Tommy? You were going to say something.
I'm still a little skeptical that ETH Bitcoin holds up in terms of valuation, but these are definitely levels that we can bounce from. Yeah. I mean that I have been I think my strategy has more or less been like, I kind of do expect some sort of bounce over the next 2 weeks. So allocate to hyper beta in crypto, because I think it's going to eventually catch a rotation and run, and it'll be a cheap way to get exposure.
Tucker, you can just go and chart if you want.
No, I was just showing the OI has hit that level that.
Oh yeah.
Once again, we've had tops at this whole range.
Can you put funding on it as well?
I don't know if I can on TradingView.
Yeah, I haven't found a good funding rate on TradingView yet. You'd have to go to another website.
I can check it real quick though. Let's see.
DXY is rejecting really, really strong today.
Oh, they're sending it on the 4-hour close, huh?
It's a strong daily and weekly rejection. I would love if we close below that March high on DXY.
Yeah, I think the dollar pullback here makes sense.
I mean,
the dollar loves to pull back a little bit more aggressively than people expect too. So maybe like a pullback into 104, 105. I still think that it's probably going to continue higher, though. I guess we'll see. It really depends on what Legacy does. because I feel like the movement we've had in the dollar since we set the low in July has been mechanically driven.
Oh, I have something I wanted to show on
Yeah.
the Dow Jones. You know, do you guys remember how we talked about it a few weeks ago when we were here, and I was saying this trend line is getting broken and we are probably coming below this low, and from there we are bouncing. We discussed
Yes.
this on the stream, and I'm not sure if it was YouTube. I hope it was. But I talked about, hey, I'm not sure if we right here, and it was around, I'm not sure which wick was it, but I was saying it's possible we go here first and then reject, or we go straight down and then reject below. And it makes sense because so many people will be looking to buy the trend line and this sort of support here. And where are their stops? It's right below these two lows. So we go there, we fake the break of the trend, we take their stops, and then we revert. And I would just love that to see this from the Dow Jones.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And on SPX, just beautiful, beautiful touch. You know, what we've been discussing.
Yeah, it is holding that level perfectly.
It had
I was
to.
just looking at that. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You know,
Peak fear.
Peak fear.
Peak fear in confluence with TLT nuking, you know.
And Euro USD and Pound
Yeah.
USD and USD Japanese yen and everything lining together. So it can still fail. This is important to keep in mind, you know, and there's still resistance right here, right? This is a strong resistance. So still important to keep in mind. It can still continue to sell off, but like, yeah, good probabilities.
This would be the spot to bid SPY, honestly. Right here. Stop somewhere just below the low. Compound on the channel breakout if it happens. All right. Well, we've been going about an hour, guys. This might be it might be time.
Yeah, I can wrap us up here. Yeah, no, shout out to everybody who participated on the panel. Shout out to you guys, the viewers, for being here and spending your Thursday morning with us. We love that y'all continue to support the show, and we love doing it. It's very fun and honestly very beneficial for us to just be able to walk through our thoughts and chart like this. So yeah, we hope you guys enjoy it. A reminder to leave a like and subscription if that floats your boat. Our channel really appreciates when you do that. So does the computer algo that puts our content in front of people for replay as well. But yeah, no, thanks again, guys. And a reminder, if you really enjoyed the content today, we do have some more exclusive and intimate content available in the description of this YouTube video, as well as the link tree of our Twitter bio, where you can get things like our positioning, as well as how we're viewing the market on a day-to-day basis as it's happening. So yeah, I mean, like I've been saying, we've been crushing the markets. That is not any fluff. We have been 100% crushing these markets over the last few months, and had a great summer. So come in and hang out. That if you're trying to trade, or if you're just trying to hang out with us too, we talk about stakes in there. We talk about everything, everything in between. Maybe you end up in a bet with us for a steak dinner as well. Who knows? But yeah, thanks again, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, and have a great rest of your Thursday.